If you seriously want to connect with your customers and draw them into your business, you need to be using video, social, and podcasts.
From Creator Scott Cunningham and Visual Element Media, this is the Video Social Podcast.
Hey everyone, and welcome. My name is Scott, and I am so glad to have you here joining me on this podcast today, where we are going to be talking about the reason why video, social, and podcast is so important to your digital marketing strategy and why you should be investing in these areas. You know, video, social, and podcasts, I think some people just take for granted. They think that, oh, well, we just have to post a video, or we just have to put something on social media, or we can just do something. And yes, that's a good start, but we're going to talk about why it's good in the first place. And as we flesh out this podcast, as we dig deeper into why we need to be working in these areas, we're going to see more of how we can do it, some strategies we can use in it. But first, I think it's really important to understand why we need to be using video, social, and podcast. So I apologize that it is allergy season here in Pennsylvania, and so my allergies are acting up. So if I sound a little nasally, if I'm sucking snot up my nose, I apologize for that. But so why video, social, and podcast? Why are these so important? And a lot of people will say, oh, technology is changing, the way we communicate is changing, so how do we keep up with it? Well, the thing that we notice, I've been in business for over 10 years in the video and the social. Podcasting is relatively new as a service that we provide, but video and social has been what we've built this company on. So this is something that we have experience, we have knowledge in, and it's something that we try to communicate with our clients on a regular basis. And what we've really found is that nothing has really changed from the psychology side of things. People are still looking to learn about products and services that will help them achieve their personal goals in life, or make their life easier, or help them attain something in life that they can't currently achieve. That's why we buy things. That's why we subscribe to services. That might be why you're listening to this podcast, because you want to educate yourself. You want to learn something, or you want to reinforce something that you already know, maybe hear a different perspective. So none of that has changed. That has all stayed the same, really. But what has changed is how we connect and how we communicate with that end buyer. And so that's where video, social, and podcasting comes in. And so before, where we would use radio, or we would use television, or we would use print or billboard or mailers, whatever the method, and some of those are still effective. And so that's why we say, if you're looking to improve, if you're looking to connect on a digital sense, video, social, podcast is the way you need to go. Now, other traditional means are still applicable. They're still effective. They may not be as effective in every industry as they once were. Things are definitely changing in how effective they are. But that brings us to why. And the why is that we have a new generation. We have the millennials and we have the Gen Zers who consume. They learn, we learn, I'm a millennial, we learn things differently in some aspects. We are more on the go today than we have ever been before. And so we want our content to go with us. Now, unfortunately, radio, and a lot of people dog radio, but radio actually does go with you. You can use apps like iHeartRadio, or just listening to AM/FM radio. I mean, I still do that, to an extent. not as much, but I still do listen to talk radio and Christian music and that kind of stuff on AM or FM radio, whatever it is. But I'm moving more and more to just straight streaming on my phone. In social or television kind of goes with you, but it's kind of dependent on whether you have a TV in front of you. Print, it has to meet you in the right place. It gets mailed to you. So yeah, there's always going to be the connection. But I mean, as soon as I get the newspaper, I throw it away. Like, it's done. So that's kind of that. So I just want to quickly run through, without making this into an hour-long podcast. I want to keep these really short, or not really short, but short enough that you can listen to them pretty quickly. So the ways of communicating have changed, but they've only replaced the old methods. So the new generation has a different way of communicating, and they're now using digital means instead of communicating in person. But the buying psychology hasn't changed. So this isn't new. We're still depending on developing solid relationships with our customers in order to make a sale. We need to get them to know, like, and trust our brands and our companies, our products, our services, so that they want to buy from us. So even though the communication is different, the relationship is the same. Video, social, and podcast are a way, they are a means, they are a tool that we can connect with our customer base digitally on social, on podcast platforms, in other means. So we'll start with podcasts. So podcasts are relatively new. They actually aren't really new. Podcasts it's radio. It's essentially radio without, ads and all that kind of stuff in between. So it's really replaced radio and talk shows, because so many podcasts have guests, and so many podcasts are moving to video-based platforms like ours is being recorded here. And so podcasts really just replace radio because it's a talk show. It's a means of education. And then it also replaces talk shows because it's a collaboration. And people love that. They love to be able to come together and talk, and people love to be able to watch and listen on the go. Social media has replaced television and print. And the reason I say this is because even social media now has become a pay-to-play platform. With Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn now with ads, and Twitter with ads, and YouTube with ads. And the big thing is posting great graphics. And now they've moved really into the video platform, with Facebook and Instagram really moving into video, and LinkedIn now honoring video, by saying we're going to really push video in 2019. It seems like everyone's pushing video, which we'll get to. But essentially you're paying to have your ads, to have your content put in front of people. It's like having a commercial, except it's not segmented the way we traditionally consume something, where we're watching our content and then we have a string of ads, right? So typically we see one, maybe two ads within our content. So it's coming in at different ways, but it's essentially the same thing. We're posting our graphics, we're posting our ads and our content and our branding pieces on social media instead of on television or in print. They're visual. Podcasts are more educational, more entertaining, where our social media can still be entertaining, can still be educational, but really focuses on the visual aspect. And I mentioned, as now we move into video, that it all ties together with video. Video is the delivery method. It's the way to capture attention. Because images are great, images can tell stories, but video, each frame can be a story. If you break, video is essentially a bunch of pictures just being taken over and over and over again. And so video is just, it's how we think. We think in images. We think in video format. And so that's going to be what captures our mind. Because if we just see something or we have to read something, we're still thinking in images. So we need something to replace that image. And so if you put a video in front of someone that captures their attention, now they're thinking of that video. Where just an image is going to capture it for a moment, still captures it for a moment, video can capture it for more long term. So that's why providing these three services at Visual Element Media is so near and dear to our heart. It's why we are so passionate about them, is because they are the new means of communicating to your audience digitally. And you as a business, whether you're a plumber or whether you're a contractor, whether you're a service company or a boutique, hair salon, if you do what you do really well and you can harness the power of video, social, and podcast, you can open up and create an additional stream of income for your business by being an expert in that. And you could charge $5 a month, $6, $7, $10 a month to access high behind-the-scenes content of what you do and how you do it. Sell your knowledge. Because like I said, people use video, social, and podcasting to increase their knowledge, how to get somewhere that they want to go. And if you can leverage that, you can sell it, which provides additional income for you. So that's kind of where I want to leave it today. That kind of gives you an outline of why we do what we do with video, social, and podcasting, and how it can benefit your company by connecting with your audience, and how it can not just connect and grow your business, but it can actually produce an additional stream of income. And as we, like I said, as we dig in, we're going to flesh out these ideas and build it up with strategy and research and results, which is important. Show you why this stuff works the way it works. And then I want to, engage with you guys and have you on, have, marketing people, have small business owners on, and talk about the things that you're going through and how these methods these forms of media are helping you. So if you want to connect with me, connect with me on Instagram. Just search for Scott_VEM, or connect with Visual Element Media on Instagram. And if you want to watch this podcast, you can head over to the YouTube channel where you can currently watch this podcast for free. You can just search for Visual Element Media. Make sure you subscribe there. We started a playlist that will allow you just to watch this podcast instead of watching our other content, but feel free to watch our other content as well. So you can find it, and then you can binge in case you ever miss an episode. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Video Social Podcast, and I am Scott. So we will see you in the next episode.